Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host today, Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network. And we've got a very special wow show for you today. And that is going to be a conversation between myself and my beloved Barry Auchettl as we share about who do you need to be in order to have those big dreams, goals, and visions come into being. And we'll share more about kind of how we've created our lives these last couple of years together, and share how you can really live that life of your dreams that I feel so blessed and fortunate to be living right now. Before we get started, so Barry, I'll bring you on in just a moment. Before we get started, I want to remind you all about some upcoming opportunities with Women's Prosperity Network. And the first is starting today at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're doing a workshop, and it's going to be 2 hours each day, today, tomorrow, and Thursday, to actually work on your roadmap and success plan for 2025. So I want you to imagine this. We are coupling this morning the who you're being into what you're doing this afternoon. That magic combination is the alchemy for true success, joy, and happiness. So soak it all in this morning, then show up this afternoon for the Unleash and Ignite 2025 workshop. And if you haven't already registered, go ahead and grab your tickets. Just go to our events calendar at womensprosperitynetwork.com. So I'm excited. I love the synergy of our conversation today, this morning, as well as creating the plans for this afternoon in the workshop that's starting. So Barry Auchettl, welcome to Wow Wednesday.
Good morning, Nancy. It's good to be here again. I always enjoy Wow Wednesday.
Yeah, and you listen in quite often as well, so that's always fun.
I do listen in, normally from the gym, so I'm not at the gym this morning. I'm here with you. So
Here on the show. Yeah, beautiful. All right, so there may be some people here who are not familiar with you, so let me do a little bit of an introduction about yourself. So Barry Auchettl is from Australia. He is known as the Blockbuster for his expertise in clearing blocks and limiting beliefs and sabotage patterns. And you're going to get an opportunity to get a taste of this today, this morning. So get ready to have some things cleared for you, which is awesome. And Barry and I originally met 4 years ago in February, the first week of February 2020. Yes, 2020. He was living in Australia at the time, and both of us showed up at a conference in Orlando. And it was that magic moment of meeting that ended up leading to so many beautiful miracles in our lives. So we'll share more of this story about how other things happened along the way. Right?
be great.
Yeah. So I want to kick off right away in this discussion of here we are at the end of 2024, and this is the time when most people are setting their sights and doing their planning for the future year, reflecting on what went well, what didn't work, celebrating your successes, and then, okay, what are the other dreams, intentions, and goals that I have for 2025 that I want to create? And there's lots and lots of planning happening right now, like strategic planning and spreadsheets and projections and KPIs, like all of that stuff, business-wise, which maybe you did last year and the year before and the year before. Barry, what would you say is one of the things that can show up that despite doing all those plans, gets in the way of achieving those goals?
Thanks, Nancy. Hi, everyone. Look, for me, the biggest thing is we can have great intentions, like this time of the year, especially New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve intentions. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to make those cold calls that I'm going to do. I'm going to do all these things that we keep saying. And what generally happens is we're generally pretty good for maybe 1, if 2 days. If you get to 2 days, For most people, that's like, wow, that's better than last year. And what happens is our old habits and our old beliefs are so strong that they just force us back into this old way. And so unless we consciously change our old beliefs, it's going to dominate again on a subconscious basis. And we might have all the intent, we say all the nice things, unless we really become, number one, we've got to become aware of what is the thing holding us back. And then number two, take some different actions to what you've done. So I'm going to recommend to everyone, do not do the same New Year resolutions and the same planning you did last year, unless it was super successful for you. Now, try something different. This year, I'm going to do something different. And what I absolutely love, and I love the fact that you've got, a planning session this afternoon. Most people, by the way, do the 2025 year planning in January, which is too late. You've already got
not our people. Not our people.
Not you. No, I'm really impressed that you're actually looking at it now, because now's the time.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm already in 2025. Like that's what the way I'm working.
Yeah, for sure. So in this sense of doing your planning, setting your intentions differently, one of the things that I've experienced is I have been for many, many years an A-type personality. I love planning and projections and structure and all of those pieces that can sometimes feel hard when things aren't working out according to the plan that I've created. And over the past few years, since 2020 and meeting you, I have since learned how to put in a greater level of intention to create more output, as opposed to a greater level of effort, right? So we can effort to create the lives that we want, or we can be intentional through our way of being to create the lives that we want. And that's what I want to dial in on today, is the intention as opposed to the effort. And please.
One of the things with intent is we can say, this is what I'm going to do, right? And focus is really good. But sometimes if we can be so like, this is all it is, we actually miss these other opportunities. And so one of the key words, I use a key word every year for myself. And one year I used a key word was course correct. So my intent was by the end of the year, I wanted to get, say, from Australia to USA. Now, if we took a ship doesn't directly go from Australia to USA. It heads in the general direction, and winds come along, things happen in our lives that push us left, and we have to continually course correct. So the focus could be a really clear focus on the end result and the flexibility to get there as we course correct. I think that's a really important aspect, because I've seen people so steadfast that they actually go off course.
Right. And that's where we can feel disappointment or frustration or give up on reaching the destination. If you get taken off course a little bit, you're like, oh no, this is not supposed to be, or it's too hard, whatever that is. So I love that you shared. We want to focus on the ultimate destination. Great analogy about coming to America, because you've wanted to live in America for well over a decade. Isn't that so?
Well over a decade that I had this idea of coming to America. I had no idea where. I just thought, this is where I need to be. And that was always there. My friends used to say to me, when are you moving to America? And I said, look, I think so. I don't know when.
So let me ask a question. This is fun, because someone listening in, or many of you, you have dreams or goals or these big visions that you want to achieve. And imagine moving from Australia to America. That's big. Like, how many miles is it? 10,000 or something?
Plus, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. And it's a lot of money to move all your belongings over, to go through the process. So my question for you is, you had this dream to one day live in America.
Oh.
Was it easier than you thought or more difficult?
Um, Part of it was easier because we were together, so that made it a safe landing, if you like.
Mhm.
Overall, I think there was more challenges in terms of green cards and getting license, like the whole practical component. But the number one factor for me between what kept me in Australia and what brought me to America, and we use this thing about course correct. I'm going to use another shipping analogy because this was the one thing that shifted me from Australia to America.
Mhm.
And it's a quote that says, "A harbour is a safe place for a ship, but a ship is not designed to stay in the harbour." A harbour is a safe place for a ship, but a ship is not designed to stay in the harbour. And I was in a wonderful harbour. I was comfortable, life was doing well, I was thriving, but it just didn't feel enough for me. I wanted more, and I wanted
Mhm.
that next level that I knew that I had to be at.
Yeah. So it's risky, it's
Oh.
uncomfortable, right? Those things.
And I gave myself 2 years because I knew that there would be moments where I'd say, "What have I done?"
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go back, especially when the election was on. I'm like, I don't need all of this carrying on for 12 months, you know. So, there was all that factors, and everything was happening back home. People say, "Oh, you need to be here for this." I go, "Oh, I can't be here for that." At the same time, there's an undercurrent that I just knew this is where I had to be.
Mhm. Beautiful. And to that, let's take a look at our lives for 2024, which was absolutely magical. Um, and I'm sharing this with everyone, not to boast, not to brag, or to say, "Oh, look at us," but maybe to say, "Oh, look at them. If they could do something like that, what's possible for me?"
Sure.
And both from the perspective of first meeting Barry in 2020 to now being engaged to marry him a few years later, the number one thing that shifted for me was my vibration, my energy, and then as a result, my thinking and my actions.
Yeah.
So this past year of 2024 is a culmination of so many amazing things. And changes within me and also within Barry that resulted in a 2 month trip around the world, like literally. We went from Fort Lauderdale, Florida to Europe, to Greece, to Egypt, to Australia, to New Zealand, and then back to the US.
Yeah.
Amazing. We've been on 3 cruises this year. We've traveled to the beach. We've created new programs. We held retreats like effortlessly with love, with passion, and with creation. And what I say to all of you on the cusp of setting your intentions and declaring your dreams for 2025, don't hold back. Give yourself permission to dream big and trust the process. As our friend Burge likes to say, trust and allow and don't ask how. So Barry trusted and allowed that one day he was going to live in America. He didn't know it was going to be living with me, being married to me. He didn't know where in America. He didn't know how he was going to get here. All of those pieces were unknown. But inside of him, he had a vision and a dream, and he cleared himself of whatever might have been in the way so that it was easier for him to get here. Like you had that soft landing that we talked about. So dream big, my friends. And in order to achieve that big dream, recognize a quote you've heard: what got you here won't get you there.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to work harder. It means you have to be clearer. So speak to that for a little bit, my love.
I think the key, and for me, it's who do I want to be? Rather than we tend to say, what do you want to do? And I always believe we have to start with the beingness. Like, who do I want to be in 2025? And then from there, if we have that foundation, and I refer to it as a spiritual foundation, the core aspect of who we are. Mm-hmm. Once we get that right, then we do the marketing and the sales and the copy and the websites and all of that. And that comes from that energy. So I actually have a policy myself. Unless I'm in a really clear space, I will not send one email off or make one phone call. Because I know that we actually send everything off with this energy. And if we get the who I want to be right, the universe seems to support us in, look, we've got this opportunity to turn up to be in a film. We've got an opportunity to be in this film. We've got this opportunity to travel to here.
So I love this. So here's an invitation for everyone. Who do I want to be in 2025? I want to be someone who is invited to speak and share about the one philosophy all over the world. I want to be someone who is heavily involved with the nonprofit Visionaries of Light, as well as JFC. For you, I'm feeding families. Who I want to be somebody who gets interviewed on shows for the many books that I've written. I want to be someone that can donate money to philanthropic efforts, right? Who do we want to be? That leads us down a very different path.
Yeah. And for me, I want to be the person that is supervising the making of a movie based on a book that I created.
I see that for you in 25. Yeah. So much. So how this sounds exciting, right? And I believe everybody is tapping into this energy, and I trust that it's spurring you to start to think about, who do I want to be? I want to be the person who. And if I know anything about you and human behavior, which I do, the next thing that shows up is, well, how am I going to do that? I tried that before and it didn't work. So how do we address those little gremlins, as I like to call them, that come up, Barry?
People often ask me, being called the blockbuster because I really helped to clear these sabotage programs. And I just want to share where that started from, because there was a point zero where all this became really clear. And what happened, there was this particular man who came and saw my mentor, who was also a naturopath, and he was sick, almost dying, and this was like his last resort. And Malcolm, who was my mentor, muscle tested him and said, when he was working with him, he said, look, what's come up? Do you eat white bread? And he goes, yeah, I eat white bread every day. And Malcolm said, can you give up white bread? This is actually not good for you, which we all know, but this is what came up for it. The guy went off, he came back 2 weeks later, completely cured. Like Malcolm was like, this guy was almost dead to completely cured. And Malcolm said, what's the difference? He said, I gave up white bread. And Malcolm was like, this is amazing. There's nothing else here we can do. This is like, you've achieved what you wanted to do. We had a 1-year project to get you better. You've done it in 2 weeks, just by taking that one step. Come back in 2 weeks. Let's just check to make sure things are okay and whatever. And he came back in 2 weeks, completely sick again. And Malcolm's going like, what's going on? Like, you're sick, you've got better. How come you're sick? Let's have a look. And the guy said, I couldn't give up white bread. And, consciously you would say, of course you could, like health versus white bread. But there was a subconscious program that said, I'd rather die than give up white bread. And that's literally what was happening. And so this work that I'm doing literally started from that moment when Malcolm said, there's got to be a different way. And what's going on? It's the unconscious stuff, the stuff that you don't know about that runs the programs.
And I want to take a moment to add on to that, because as you're sharing this story, and he couldn't give up white bread, right? So there's physical factors of the cravings and the sugar addiction that's inside bread, especially, that have us crave it. The second thing is his subconscious mind. So I want everybody to listen closely for this piece, because it's going to help you get in and identify, clear, and change the patterns that may be keeping you from having that dream life. And here's the way it works. So Malcolm sees him and says, give up white bread. He's like, yes, I can give up white bread. And he does it for a couple of weeks and he experiences amazing results. But then the subconscious mind, whose prime directive, its main job of the subconscious mind is to keep you safe and keep you alive. So as this man is suddenly free from his disease, he is actually now in unknown territory. He doesn't know how to be a person who's not sick and filled with disease. Fear sets in. Hidden barriers show up. He's like, well, I don't know if I can do this or not. His subconscious mind actually sabotaged him to go back to white bread so that it could go back to being the way it knew how to keep it safe and alive. And I share this link for you to be able to recognize that perhaps in the past, when you've set your goals or your intentions or your New Year's resolutions, you started off strong and then something happened. You didn't mean to do it, but you ended up slipping back into old ways of being. And we've all been through this. The key is to clear and change the thought pattern in the subconscious mind so you can actually be that new person and feel safe and feel comfortable. And that's part of the work that Barry and I both do together, right? I know you want to add something. I can feel it.
The key question for everyone here, all right, from that story is, what is the white bread in your life? What is it in your life that you can't let go of? You know it's not good for you. You know it's a bad habit. You know, I'm going to go to the gym every day. Oh, look, I'll give it a rest today. It's a bit cold out there. All that. Oh, we have all the excuses. But what is the white bread in your life that if you changed, your entire life could change? And I've literally seen that happen. I've seen it happen in terms of health. I've seen it happen in terms of money. I've seen it happen in terms of relationships. And I've seen it happen in terms of people living their full life vision.
Yeah. And so it's recognizing what the white bread is, or recognizing a higher level of self-awareness, so that when you make the decision, right, to eat that piece of white bread or not go to the gym, that you don't just accept it, you examine it. And in the examination is where we have the opportunity to say, oh, there must be something in my subconscious that's showing up right now. What do I need to clear? What's that belief? What's that hidden fear that's under the surface causing me to sabotage?
Yep. And the number one thing is, we'll have all the reasons why we like white bread. White bread reminds me of when I was a child and it was happy at time. White bread, I just feel so much, it's fluffy, it feels really nice. And we can give all these reasons why it's so nice.
It's called Wonder Bread here in the United States. I mean, what a name they gave it to make us want it.
Yeah, we've got this app called a Yucca app, and it tells you whether food's good or bad. And we tried it on alcohol, and the app said We don't test alcohol, but you know anyway.
Right? Just like that loaf of white bread, we know.
Like
Oh,
you
good.
know what's good for you. You know what's not.
Yeah. So this morning I was listening to an Abraham Hicks, which was all about how to shift your emotional state,
Yeah.
even when things aren't going well, and being able to operate from a state of high vibration. And she didn't talk about this. I know you will, though. High vibration and frequency. So I would venture to guess that everyone listening in to the show today has heard of and or believes in and knows that the law of attraction is a real thing, right? Like we are energetic beings
Yeah.
vibrating out a certain frequency and energy. And based upon that vibrational field that we have around us, that's what determines the experience we get to have. Like yucky stuff can show up, but how you respond to it energetically and in your attitude changes the experience of it, right? So vibration and frequency, raising that up and staying at a high state of vibration and frequency is what allows you to attract what you want as opposed to what you don't want.
Partly.
Go ahead.
I got to challenge it because I think everyone here believes in the law of attraction for others. This works for others. If they do that, that will work. But somehow there's this belief system that a lot of people have where it doesn't actually work for me, that somehow I'm different. Like law of attraction, oh, that will work because I've seen them do really well, but I don't think it'll work for me. You know, like I've done this in my life. I've had this situation in my life. And so it's really reframing it to say the law of attraction works for everyone. And we actually are
All the
part of
time.
everyone. You know, like,
Works
and
for everyone all the time.
yes.
Like gravity always works.
So, and just because Nancy knows I'm going to talk about this, just people don't know, I actually have a huge difference between vibration and frequency. And I just want to clarify this for people because quite often we just interchange those words. And the frequency that Nancy's talking about is that ability to attract things, health, relationships, money, those sorts of things. And a lot of people say to me, but I'm meditating every day and I'm broke, or I'm meditating every day and I can't find that relationship. And what the meditation normally does is to raise our vibration, which is more internal. That's our connection to spirit or our level of consciousness. So a lot of times in my own situation, I had a high vibration, but my frequency was a lower than my vibration. And therefore, you know, I was struggling for money, in and out of relationships, all those sorts of things. Now the guy, and we all know people too, by the way, who seem to attract everything, and they're not the nicest people of all time. You know, they're very self-centered and they don't do anything, and all they're interested about is money, and they attract it. And you think, well, maybe that's the way to go. And for some people, that's their choice. For me, my highest priority is raising my vibration, my level of consciousness, my awareness, my spiritual aspect of who I was, and then allow money and relationships and health to come up and match that. You know, to me, that's the easiest way, and it's the funnest way in life because it actually allows life to be more joyful. You know, one of my goals in life
Absolutely.
is I just want to have more fun. You know, stop taking it too seriously and let's just enjoy it more.
Well, and that ease and flow is what allows actually more opportunities to come to you. And I gotta say that from a single mom who was used to going, 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 that's how you get things done. That's how you make money. I gotta drive, 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 drive. Learning to relax and watching my bank account grow while I was relaxing. Like it took a minute for my brain to say, this is really working. Oh, wait a second. Drive, 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 drive. Take 2 months off and everything still goes well. Like, really? It works like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
When your vibration and your frequency are at a higher state so that more ease and flow is coming to you.
Yeah.
And this is what Barry and I love to share with others. And I'm going to ask you to do a clearing statement for someone.
Sure.
Do you have any clearing statements prepared, or?
I've got two that I really want to cover today.
All right, so let me put a kind of pre-frame around this for
Sure.
everyone. So as you're answering the question, who do I want to be in 2025? Some little gremlins may have showed up, some limiting beliefs, some thoughts, or, obstacles, perceived obstacles, right? What Barry is able to do through his process called light body alignment, which uses kinesiology or muscle testing to determine what's really happening in our bodies. And for those who may not be familiar with muscle testing or kinesiology, I'll give you this reference. Have you ever been sitting in a room and somebody walks in and you're like, ooh, something about that person? Like you can feel it in an instant. Your body physically responded. I'm sure you've all had that experience. Or somebody walks in and you're like, oh, wow, you just get this good vibe. Our bodies have the capacity to tell us what is good for us, what is life enhancing, and what is not good for us, what actually drains us, what the life force out of us. And the process of muscle testing or kinesiology is gauging, using that response in your body to see what's good for you or not good for you, if something's a stress or not a stress. Now, Barry is a trained kinesiologist for decades, so how'd I do?
Pretty good. I would just simply say it's a biofeedback system of the body.
Okay.
But that's okay. It was a great story.
I need more. I need to understand the working of it. So
No,
that's
that's
why.
fine. And the other thing you'll notice, I use a technique called light body alignment. And again, if you don't know that, if you know it, that's fine. If you don't know it, I'll actually be clearing it by doing this, by clicking my fingers. But what I'm going to be doing is shifting vortexes so that it actually clears for the person I'm working with. And this is the cool part. It's also going to clear for everyone listening who are either live or listening to the replay. And this is what I refer to as 5D material now. I actually read about this only this year. I've been doing it for over 10 years, this work in Life as Your Mentoring, and literally found out, they said, this is fifth dimensional work that you're doing. I went, oh, of course it is, like that's what we're doing. So what I'm going to be doing is working with one person, but know that what we're doing is clearing everyone. And I've actually picked two statements that I've used this month for my top advanced group. These are people who have a vibration over 1,000 on the David Hawkins scale. So this is really high level work that we're going to, even though they're simple statements, we're going to be really clearing at a really much higher level today, because I really want to sort of clear some major things. So we need a volunteer. So I want someone who feels like, and I'll give you the statement, and it's really around confidence. Someone that would like to improve their confidence. And okay,
So what
Tina,
should they
let's
do?
bring you
Raise
in.
their hand? Should they raise their hand, or you already found
Peter
someone?
has already raised a hand. So you might
Awesome.
want
All
to
right.
bring her in, please.
Let me bring Tita on the screen. So hold on just a sec.
Okay. So Tita, thank you for being brave. How are you?
Good. So excited.
I'm excited for you. So it's going to be exciting. So Tita, the way I'm going to do this, have you listened or done any work with me before?
I have listened to several of the presentations that you have
Okay.
made.
I don't think we've actually worked, have we? Or we might have. Have you been cleared individually before yet?
You actually, one of the sessions, you did help me with a couple.
Okay, I do hundreds of these every week, so we'll see how we go. I've got a really good one for you for today, for next year, and this is going to be for everyone. The way we're going to do it, let's do it as a statement, and then I'm going to muscle test everything with your permission from now on. And the statement I want you to say for me is, I move into the new year with confidence.
I move into the new year with confidence.
Okay, yeah. And so when I muscle test that, when I'm testing that here, there's a stress on the word and people might hear it. So really interesting, if you're listening, just see if you can pick up, where is the stress? And the stress was on the word confidence. You're happy to move into the new year with confidence is actually a stress. Can you tell me why?
Yes, there's this dance in my life in terms of confidence, and then I have this lack of trust and fear, and then I do them. So it's kind of like a cycle of moving forward, then lack of trust, and then moving back, shield myself, and so I'm done with this.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I've been there as well, so I really understand that. I'll let you know what happens energetically when you do this dance, and I'm sure other people can relate to it. So it's exactly where we need to get to. So I'm glad you volunteered. What happens if you think about, I talk about the vortex, if you talk about Abraham Hicks, this miracle energy coming around. When you're feeling confident, can you see that miracle, the possibility of miracles start to rise, don't they? We're feeling good, we're starting to attract things, and it's getting up there, and it's almost there, and we think, oh no, it's not happening. What's going on? Oh, look, I do some work on myself. I'm going to get more confident, more confident. It's like that, isn't it?
Yes. And also that when actually in some instances in which I have accomplished what I wanted, then there's a panic. Maybe things are going to change. That worry about how long is this going to last.
Yep. And recognize, what we've been talking about this morning, these things take time. So a lot of people go and try to get a quick fix, like, oh, fix me, and then that's it. And, we need constant checking so that we're actually staying up here. And when we stay up here, what I found for myself, what Nancy's found, what, everyone I've been working with on long term, when you're staying in that high vibrational energy field, guess what? Miracles can show up. So my role is not make miracle happen for you. My role is to get you into that high energy, and your role is to stay there. And that might mean getting some support from Nancy, myself, someone.
Yes.
Like, we can't always just do it by ourselves. Otherwise, the old story is going to come back in. So what I want everyone to do is to find that space where you feel confident and to find a process that's going to keep you there. All right? Because what we don't want is the same as last year, the year before, the year before. I think 2025 is really the time for massive change in your life. All right? And for you in particular, I actually see that. I actually see, like people talk about, like, we get to a certain age, and I'm going to use a swear word here, retire. All right? And I won't use that word again, because when people do that word, that's what happens. They retire their life. And I actually feel for you, your life is really just starting. Do you get that?
I feel it, yes.
Yeah, it's like the sense I get with you is your life has been like one big, huge apprenticeship to now. and you're graduating your apprenticeship into what you're stepping into.
I'm ready.
Can you just say one sentence? What is that? Do you know what that is?
Say that again.
Do you know what that is? What are you stepping into?
My dream is what I actually am focusing on is to create and or a partnership with farmers and other. I am a nutrition counselor, certified. And so I teach about nutrition, not from the conventional standpoint.
Right.
And so I want to bring that to children, to communities in the Caribbean, Central and South America. I'm from Puerto Rico. And so I that's where I want to focus the change in people's lives. So that's the vision, and I have written that. And so I am making some connections.
So what I just want you to know, I'm going to clear this in a sec. I just want you to know one thing, that the energy on the planet has raised sufficiently that people are ready to hear you now.
Oh.
So we're just going to clear this for you. And this is for everyone. And you might feel the change. If you feel the change, put it in the chat room so people know what difference it is for you. All right. So I could just say for me again, please. I move into the new year with confidence.
I move into the new year with confidence.
That's holding structure. Can you hear the difference? People are clapping in the audience. Clap in the audience if you can hear it, like that change in her voice, like yes. Okay, and recognize that's done for everyone. Thank you so much for being so brave and putting your hand up.
Thank you.
I mean, look at her radiating as well, right? You're glowing and with the shift.
And I have tears coming through. Thank you.
You're welcome. And one more thing I want to add for you, and that is in answering the question for you, who do I want to be in 2025? Set your vision and your visualization and your imagery around working with farmers, and see that, like, I can see the children all around you feeling excited. Like I have a vision for that, of you doing that. So like Barry talked about earlier, the vision of the end result, hold that feeling in your vibration and course correct along the way. You know, you're making connections. That's fantastic. And you want to get yourself to be on podcasts speaking about your passion, and somebody will hear that podcast and then invite you to come to their country. Like, this is the time for you to be all in on creating your movement.
Great.
And that can feel scary.
Oh yes, I feel it, and that, like you said, and you both have said, course correction.
Yeah,
it's such a fantastic way of looking at things. Things are not black or white or straight line.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you were talking about the trip from Australia to the US. It's not a direct ship, trip of the ship. It's just you have to stop in different places, and that's thank you, because that's the thing that I forget. So.
Yeah, and so thank you so much for playing, Tita. I appreciate you, and I'm happy for you. So good. A couple of people have put in the chat and asked the question, how do you keep your vibration high? Right. So even in this moment, I'm excited about 2025 and what my future vision looks like. Oh, I don't know. Right. If we get hooked by the, I don't know, we've just changed our vibration and our frequency, and we're not going to attract the same kind of opportunities. Right. So how do we keep our vibration? And you alluded to it a little bit, Barry, but let's dive into this for a few minutes.
Okay. So depends on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. Like,
or you get sucked. Right.
But if you're thinking, look, I want to try this out and let's see what's going on, the first thing I recommend to everyone is to meditate. Right? And we all say, yes, most of us have meditated. Do you meditate every day? And so the very simple thing for each person is to simply meditate each day. It will make a difference in your life. And it doesn't have to be a 2-hour staring at the wall meditation. Even a 5-minute meditation. So there's no reasons to say I'm too busy, I don't have time. We can put a 5-minute meditation in each day into your life. Will make a difference.
Yeah.
And then occasionally you might want to do a 10-minute one or a 20-minute one or a half-hour one. But that is the number one way to start raising your vibration. All right. I have a program which I'm really going to encourage people. It's called Life Vision Mentoring. And this program is a 6-month program where we guarantee, people know the David Hawkins scale, we guarantee that you'll get over 1,000. In other words, that you'll get to a state where you come from a place of beingness. And we've had a 100% success rate over the past 10 years of doing this with hundreds of people. And imagine doubling, if you like, your vibration to where you're at now. Of who you would be if you're walking around with a vibration of 1,000. And years ago, that used to be the select few that we sort of go, wow, these people are amazing. Now it's actually possible for us everyday people to start reaching those numbers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So one of the answers to the question, how do you keep in that vibration, is you keep yourself in these practices that support you in consistently raising your vibration. To surround yourself, we hear this all the time, surround yourself with like-minded people, be in a community. And I want you to pay attention. Is the community you're hanging out with negative, positive, dragging you down, building you up? Like, who are they? And we may have, especially in this holiday season, there may be people in our closest inner circle in our family that don't see things the way, actually, they might see things the way they are. They believe in appearances rather than believing in miracles.
Yeah.
Because believing in miracles is what creates them.
And I
Believing
know
in
with the
appearances
community
keeps you the
that
same.
I'm in, when I ask people at the end of 6 months, what's the best thing you got out of it? And they'll say, look, I love the fact that I've raised my vibration. I've now connecting. Miracles are happening. But they say that I'm actually in a community where I feel heard by people and I can speak my truth without fear of condemnation or people judging me. And it gives them that opportunity to go higher.
In that space, yeah. So we want to invite you to continue to spend time with us as we are consistently keeping our vibration and frequency at the highest levels possible and growing them and supporting others committed to doing the same. So we've got some gifts for you. Let me share what the gifts are and how we can keep growing together. So first of all, you want to go to nancymatthews.com/BAN gifts, BAN gifts, which is Barry and Nancy, BAN gifts, plural, all one word. So go to that link. And once you get there, you're going to get access to 2 meditations right away, one from Barry, one from myself. My meditation, and it's short, it's 5 or 6 minutes, is about connecting with the future you who feels completely free, financially, physically, emotionally, in all ways. You are mentally, spiritually, you are at that high level. So this meditation will bring you to the future you, and then to bring them back with you so that you can implement and start being that now. So that's the gift from me. Barry, what's your gift? Is Barry frozen? Am I frozen?
No, I'm not frozen. You were frozen in my mind. So we'll see how we go. Has everyone got me?
Oh, there we go. Yep. What is your gift?
My gift is for people. Okay, so my gift is, again, a very short meditation about accessing your Vortex bank account. And so what is this spiritual bank account that you have that you can access that's just yours so that you can spend as much of it as you like and it doesn't affect anyone else in the world, except when you spend it, it actually helps people by putting more money out in the world. So it's a great one for those people who, where is my stuff? You actually get to find where it is.
Excellent. Am I back? Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. All right. So go to nancymatthews.com/ban gifts, BANGIFTS, and you'll get access to those, as well as Barry and I have 3 different, gatherings occurring. One is a spiritual gathering this Sunday. The next is a leadership class I'm teaching on the 13th. And then the next is a spiritual breakthrough class that Barry's teaching on the 23rd. So you'll see all that information once you go to the link. And then if you want to join us for any of those classes, you'll be able to.
So I just wanted to complete today just a really quick last minute one. Nancy, I'm going to use you because it's going to be quicker to do this. And I just want to, in 2 minutes, if we can. And I want to clear this other statement that I have for everyone. And the statement is 2025 will be my best year yet.
You're going to do that for me?
Yes. I
love that. Thank you. 2025 will be my best year yet.
Okay. So what's really interesting, and this comes up, is on that word yet.
I know. I felt it.
Okay. And I know the temptation is that people want to say 2025 is my best year ever. All right. That's the temptation. All right. But the reason why I'm using the word yet is if we have 2025 would be my best year ever, what happens in 26, 27, 28? You've already had your best year. You're going down.
Right.
So
I guess.
Go on.
I was just going to say, I was trying to examine why I might have had some stress around that. And I think, like this past year has been really good, right?
How can we beat this year, hey?
Yeah, I was like, what could that even look like? And it feels a little unknown, which creates scary for me sometimes.
And you might even get married next year.
Oh yeah. Huh. Oh yeah, okay, I'm ready.
Just forgot about that one. Yeah, okay.
I did.
You're so excited. I'm engaged. Like, we're actually going to get married,
Oh yeah, that happens after that.
All right. So I want you to imagine, as good as 2024 was for you and for everyone, doesn't matter whether it's good, bad, whatever, 2025 is going to be your best year yet. And my goal is we're going to do this each year. I'll come back in 12 months' time and we'll do it again for 26. You can imagine that. So let's clear this for everyone. Okay. All right. I can just say it again for me. 2025 will be my best year yet.
2025 will be my best year yet.
Awesome. How's that feel now?
Really good. Really. Like I'm excited now. I have no scariness around it. It's just really good.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited. Like, for all of what we did this year, we got to go to places I've never been to. I got to show Nancy off to all my friends in Australia. Got to go home for a little while, and then we got to come back, and we're setting ourselves up here. We had a lovely Thanksgiving with just Nancy and myself, and we had a romantic dinner for Thanksgiving. So all that sort of stuff. And we had a wonderful year, and 2025 is going to be even better.
Yes, it is. Let's bring on a couple of people for questions or comments. We've got 5 minutes left. I'd love to hear from you. What's lingering for you? How can we support you in having 2025 be your best year yet? Who wants to share something? Dun, dun, dun. I saw Laura Barker had her hand up.
Yeah, Laura was there. I'm not sure if she's still there.
Yeah, let's go to Darlene. Hello, Darlene.
Hey, I wanted to say when you were doing the very last section, 2025 is going to be my best year yet. I felt that, especially, and it sounds kind of funny, but I said the T, best year yet. Being very intentional in saying every letter. I think there's something important about that. Sometimes we are a little lazy with our speech, but when we are very, very intentional in what we're saying, we really help to bring about what we're believing for. And so everything that has been spoken today really hit me between the eyes. I signed up the minute I saw the gifts.
You're gonna love them.
Signed up for it, and I'm looking forward to that because I want to continue to stay in that high vibration vein. And I think I know that is important to be able to reach those goals that are intended for me for 2025. So I want to say to you, Barry, thank you. And thank you, Nancy, for the conversation because it really resonated with me.
Darlene, I just wanted to say that if I chose someone, I was going to choose you, and I'm glad you picked up the energy. So I knew that one was for you as well. And just as a thank you for that, I'm going to gift you a free 15-minute session with me personally as a one-on-one. And so I'll put my link in the chat room, my email, just email me and we'll set that up for you as my gift for you to start 2025.
Wow. Thank you.
Wow. You are a blessed and highly favored woman.
Wow, that hit me. It really did. Thank you, Barry.
You are welcome.
See why I love this man, right?
I know. I'm going to the link now. I'm gonna get my time set with you.
Awesome.
Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful.
Just send me an email. We'll work out a time. Let me know what works for you.
You know, everybody else is going to be going, man, I want that.
All the hands have gone up now, I can tell you.
Right. All right, we've got just about 2 minutes left. Once again, if you didn't grab the gifts from Barry and I yet, go to nancymatthews.com/BAN gifts. Barry and Nancy, BAN gifts, plural. You'll get the 2 meditations, and then you'll also see the 3 different gatherings we've got this month to support you in keeping that vibration high so that the being that you're creating for 2025 will support all the things you want to have and do. That's how it works. It's not, do, have, be. It's, being comes first.
I like the BAN. I knew you were going to use Bancy at one point, weren't you?
No, I thought about it, but I decided not to. Anyway, we haven't made one of those cutesy names together. So. Yeah. Anyway, Adele Alexander has her hand up. Question or comment in our final minute.
Morning.
Adele.
Good morning, both of you.
Hi, Adele.
Awesome session. And, I love that whole white bread thing. I lived in Rhode Island where we had the Sunbeam white bread factory, and that bread just smells amazing. But I just want to mention it's actually the wheat that's the problem because the wheat that we have here in this country is very not nutritional. Anyways, sabotage. I'm so glad you touched on that. I've been to many, many sessions, and for some reason, sabotage has been off the table for a topic, and I feel like a lot of us sabotage myself. And my particular thing is scrolling on my phone and looking at reels for way too long, and also, watching Hallmark movies because I'm invested in a happy ending. But I realize I'm living somebody else's life doing that, not my own. And I also love everything you said about the potential for having the best year yet, because I feel that is true. I like that phrase. I actually highlighted it with a marker about it being that we have invested all this time into what we're going to do in the future, because like many of us that are on this call, we're talented and accomplished, but for whatever reason, we're not living our full potential. So it's really important to keep that vision of believing in miracles for sure. I know that they happen. And also to have this vision that we're going to have our best year yet, because like you, it's been really good so far, but there's more. There's definitely more.
And, as long as I'm on this side of the grass, honey, I am done. That's there's a song by Frank Turner that I love, and it's called Get Better. I'm trying to get better because I haven't been my best yet. I'm still alive. I haven't been my best yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not dead yet.
And Adele, I'm going to give you a session as well today. So look, there you go. So that's,
Thank you.
luckily we've run out of time. Otherwise I won't have time.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
same thing for you. There's a free session there. Just go to my email, send me a note, and we'll set that up for you as well.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Beautiful. All right. So for Adele, make sure you grab his email address because he said he would give a session to Darlene and Adele. All
Okay.
y'all go grab those links. This Sunday at 6 p.m., we're hosting a spiritual gathering. So join us for that, and you'll see the other events we've got coming up. Barry, thank you for joining me today and sharing this time together, as well as this whole past 2.5 years. It's been great.
It's been great. And I'm looking forward that 2025 is going to be our best year yet as well.
Yes, yes, yes. Hey, let's get married.
Everyone's invited to the cruise.
There you go.
Eastern time on Sunday?
6 p.m. Eastern, yes.
Eastern time. Yep. And we actually, one of the quick things with it, what we're doing is rather than giving you a sermon, we do breakout rooms so that you get to talk. So.
Yes, it'll be really good. It'll be good. All right, everyone. Get out there. Have a great day. Now that we've set the foundation for who you're being for 2025, attend the workshop this afternoon, facilitated and led by Trish Carr with some great guest speakers. And you can go to womensprosperityNetwork.com, look at the events tab, and join us to unleash and ignite your success roadmap for 2025. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Bye. Bye, everybody.